So retirement planning can be hard. So let's take a look at some of the common mistakes that are made when doing a retirement plan. Okay, number one is simply not having a retirement plan. I'm just going to use the 4% rule, and when I get to that big number that I'm carrying underneath my armpit here, I'll know that I'm good. But you know what? A lot of people, they don't take into account that they're going to get Social Security, that Social Security gets COLA raises. That's something that you may not be anticipating. Okay? So take a look at that, take a look at taxes and other things, and you got to have a full comprehensive retirement plan. I don't say you don't have to. If you have a huge inheritance or something like that, you may have enough that you don't have to worry about it. But I would say that you do need a comprehensive retirement plan. And number two is just simply working too long, not understanding how much your investments are going to gain, and not understanding tax strategies, RMDs, and other things like that can make you underestimate the value of your retirement. And when you underestimate, you tend to work too long, not revisiting your retirement plan. Even if you do underestimate and say, well, I'm going to only estimate that the market returns 4%. You know, if you visit that every year and update your plan, you won't get too far behind with the amount of money and when you can retire. So simply understanding your retirement plan and revisiting it can make you hopefully not work too long. Okay, number three is not counting in inflation. So when you save your money, when you're saving for retirement, it's not enough to save, you have to invest as well. And the reason you have to invest is because of inflation. So you have to understand that you need to invest, and you can't be too conservative. You know, you can't just stick it in a money market account and expect, 2% or less to carry you through and match inflation, because most of the time it won't, and you actually are losing money due to inflation if you don't have it invested properly. So being too conservative with your money can be a big problem. So hey, I would like for y'all to remember that I am not a professional financial advisor or a professional investor. So if you need professional help for your particular retirement plan, please go out and find a fiduciary fee-only financial advisor and have them make up a plan just for you. Now, number four is kind of the opposite of number three. You can be too aggressive. Now, when you're in your 20s and 30s, your allocation asset might be, all in stocks, everything in. And, the stock market historically is going to tell you that when you're young and you have time, that might not be a bad strategy. But as you get older, if you don't dial that back, like me personally, I'm in a 60-40 portfolio. I need my money to work a little harder for me. I'd like to be in a 50-50. But right now I'm in a 60-40. But if you're looking towards your friends to give you hot stock tips and things like that, and you're investing all of your money in, say, one stock and trying to hit it when you're in your 50s and 60s, that's probably not the wisest thing to do. So as you get older, make sure you diversify your portfolio to match your age and your risk tolerance. And some people have a lot higher risk tolerance than others. Now, that's not saying you don't take, 5% once in a while and put it on a flyer, which is a stock that might take off and go fly. But you can do that with a small percentage of your portfolio, but don't do it with your entire portfolio when you get older. It could mean disaster. Okay, number five is knowing your contribution strategy while you're working. Obviously, when you're younger, you would probably want to put your money more into a Roth IRA or 401k, because you're probably not going to be at your peak earnings yet. You're not going to be paying as much in taxes, and you don't need that tax break. So if you kind of front load that Roth when you're younger, then when you get to be older, when you need the tax breaks, you can put more in the traditional. And, I would say by the time you're in your mid 30s to 40s, I would say you should be investing in both. Go ahead, because there's only a certain amount that you can put in a Roth, and that's dependent on your age. Once you get to be a little bit older, you can put more in. But you can only put so much in, and you're probably going to be at the point in your life where you want to put a higher percentage than 5 to 10% of your earnings in to your retirement savings. And now if you're like me and you kind of missed out on the Roth train, which I did, I didn't understand it, back when I was doing my investing and I was making enough money, I really needed the tax breaks now. And it made more sense for me to not heavily invest in the Roth. You can do Roth conversions later on when you get into retirement. And that's what I'll be planning on doing personally. And number 6 is what I've already mentioned, and that's just not understanding all of your income streams in retirement. Like I say, if you just take like the old commercial, with the orange numbers that everybody carried around, and it said, "This is my number." If you're just looking at a number, you could end up working way too long because you don't understand that you've got different income streams. You got Social Security. You may have a smaller pension like I do, which is very nice. It helps supplement some income. You need to understand the tax strategy, the RMDs, like I talked about before. And what we don't want to do is we just don't want to work too long. If you can retire in your early 60s, hey, great, good for you. But to do that, you may need to take more than 4% out, for the first few years until you get on Social Security and Medicare. You may need to take more than that 4% out, and I'll be talking about that in a future video. So hey, if you've gotten anything out of this video, I'd appreciate it if you reach down, hit that like button, and watch this video next.